There's a vast amount of videos that talk about the 5 things you need to know about mastering, or 10 things you need to know, or 10 things not to do, or whatever the list is. Could be a positive or negative context. And I think that what's missing the most out of those is, and not that they don't exist, but a list of things that you just need to be mindful of. Let me give you a list of 4 to 5, or if you need a definite, let me give you a list of 5 things.
2,000 years later.
This is a list of 5 things you need to be mindful of when doing mastering. So, the first one, I'd say, don't do things just to do them, and I've mentioned this a million times in the course, mixingacademy.com. Try to understand why you're doing something. I have things in the chain that I've shown you that I do almost all the time, so it stays on unless I think I need to turn it off, unless I think it's doing something wrong to the sound. But I know why I do them. I know the reason why those are being applied, and not just to the sound, but what is the reason behind it. Monoing the low end, why do you do that? So you need to know physically what that's gonna cause. If you have a lot of stereo in your low end, what's that gonna cause with reproduction on a stereo system, on a mono system? The same thing goes for the stereo in the signal at any frequency range, but the lows are really specific. So what I'm trying to say is, when you know why, it's going to be much easier to decide how much and where. And most of those things should not come from a rule or something you just heard in a list of 1 to 5. It should be something you know why you're doing it. I think that's applicable to anything in mastering. So there are so many cool ideas and techniques you can learn online. YouTube is super useful. I wish I had that when I was starting to produce. Having those in your head, that doesn't really help you. Like somebody telling you, if your song is whatever, muddy, this is how you fix it. Well, if you can't recognize when it's muddy, then it doesn't really do anything for you, does it? So that's the first thing. Don't just do things just to do them. Try to be mindful of why that needs to happen. A balance is a living thing. So when you do balance, you can look at the analyzer, as I've shown in a couple of videos, and you can see it in the course at mixingacademy.com. It should be taken with a grain of salt. So the balance of a single track or a balance of an album, that all comes from you understanding the feeling behind the music, what the composer wanted to impart on the listener. And that's really important. Otherwise, AI could actually do good mastering. What I'm talking about is, try not to just blindly follow an analyzer, even though I think it's an amazing tool. Try not to blindly follow anything. That goes for the previous rule of doing things just to do them. And I think that a balance for a track or for the album is just as important. Not all tracks need to have as much high frequency content and need to be bright and have the sparkle. They don't. Some of them are supposed to be dark and ominous. Depends on the genre of the music, on the actual emotion in the song, and that I think is the most important thing. Third one would be that any solution is a solution. If you know just one solution to a problem you can actually recognize, which I think is really important, as I said, impart that solution on the song and it works, well, that's it. You've done it. You've solved it. You don't need to crack your head over and over if that's the only solution you know. If it fixed it, it fixed it. You don't need to try some fancy, super convoluted way to do it. You learn by working. Try to get, as anybody does, as mixing engineers do, from those websites where you have tracks for mixing, and you can get the same thing for mastering. So you can get that same track, maybe mix it yourself. It's really useful to know how to mix music if you're gonna do mastering, and then master it as well. It might take you longer to master a track in the beginning, depending, of course, on the problems that the track brings with itself. The most you're gonna learn is by working, so that practice is gonna give you the most experience. Even though you can learn a lot of stuff from watching videos, learn a lot of techniques, or learn a lot of new ways to correct something, by working, you get the experience of recognizing the problems, which is, I think, way more important than how many solutions you know. And I think the last one would be, stop trying to find a formula. There is no formula. And most of the questions that you see, not just on my videos, on any video, and most of the questions I get from students, how do you whatever? Like, what is the way you do this? There is no rule. You could always keep, as I've shown my mastering chain in the last video, keep them all in the same order and just go along with it, it's probably going to work fine. If you just experiment with different ordering or different effects, you might get a better result. So you can try stuff out, but that also doesn't reflect on the rule of not second guessing everything a million times. You should try things out, but not for the cause of doubting yourself. You should try things out just to practice, just to see what can be done. There are so many different solutions out there. There is no blueprint that works for everything. It might work for a lot of things, but it's not going to work for everything. And that's not going to help you succeed. That's not going to help you actually be good at what you do. It might give you a crutch for start, and that's okay, but that's not going to help you actually become a master at what you do. So listen to a song, decide what it means to you, what's the emotion behind it, see what the problems are, fix them with the solutions you know, and that's it. Stop trying to find a blueprint for everything. At least that's my 2 cents. See you in the next video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please do. It will help the channel, and most of you watching are not. And if you don't know what I'm talking about half the time, which this video I think was not that full of, go to mixingacademy.com and check out a free course. It's 40 plus hours long, and thanks to Levin.org, it's completely free. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.